Hey everybody, welcome back to our Stone Face Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here watching some Gundam seed. Last time, its name is Gundam. zaft is able to steal 4 of the five G prototype mobile suits, leaving only the GAT X-105 strike, where Murray Aramis, unable to pilot effectively, Kira pilots the strike and defends Heliopolis against the invading zaft forces to protect his friends. Ensign Nadari Badgurel
That
takes
girl.
command of the new mobile assault ship Archangel with the surviving crew members.
Nettery. Bad girl.
It is. I can no longer say it with a straight face, thanks to you. I hope you're happy.
It's like a weird, bad foreign read on a name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were doing some sort of racist Chinese accent about how to say Natalie Bad Girl, go ahead, do it for us, Griff. Give us your best bad Chinese accent for Natalie Bad Girl.
No. Anyway, I'm skipping the bit. I'm pressing skip right now. But yeah, no. Last time we had a little bit of downtime with the crew once they got out of their first fight situation. A little bit of an explanation of what's happening, which is basically all the kids are getting kidnapped. They are not going to be allowed to leave, and that is going to be one of the problematic tensions throughout the show here.
Is it really kidnapping though when it's the government that does it?
My opinion would say yes. Other people would disagree and say it's legal to kidnap under certain circumstances.
Well, I mean more so. It's literally they're underage. It's for their own protection, and it's not even like a
Like, secret
Well,
information.
no, I'm not even counting that. It's literally
Yeah.
for their own protection, and it's not like it's up for debate sort of thing. They're in the middle of a war zone, and you're not only a
There's level 8
representative,
evacuation going on.
you're not only the representative of legal authority, but as the government, it is your responsibility to take care of those that are in danger. So it's literally, is it is it really kidnapping in that case?
There's a lot going on, that's for sure. But go ahead and keep that all in mind as we keep going, I think. That's what I'm going to go ahead and put a big pin on.
No, when I'm
Is it
like
really
like
kidnapping?
when you bring up, well, they've also seen privileged information. At that point, if they say something like you're under arrest, I could still believe that to be within their, their bailiwick, if it were. Like you've seen privileged government information, and we can't let the secrets be going out because we're in the middle of a 1-year war. Some might say, although they've subverted the whole 1-year war thing by making it only been going on for 11 months now. So we're not quite at the 1-year war. It's like they're trying to avoid copyright on themselves. Like, we've got this other franchise now. It's pretty famous for having a 1-year war. We can't
They
do
want to
that
make
though.
allusions to it still. Yeah,
We
they're
can't do
drawing their
that
own
though. So we're
parallels.
gonna say our war is, I don't know. We could go with 13 months. That kind of confuse people because it'd be a 1-year, 1-month war.
We'll pull like a Kingdom Hearts, 11 months, 29 and a half days or something.
Yeah, we'll go with 11. We'll start it at 11 months, and hopefully, I don't know how long this thing is gonna last, boys and girls, but maybe we'll end it in a month, and it will be
Maybe.
1 year. We won't refer to it though. We'll just
Well,
call
we'll be
it.
back home by Christmas. It'll be fine.
Maybe we'll call it the Bloody Valentine's, whatever.
But we ended one combat scene and we had another one now drop in on the characters where our Char clone is fighting Mireille Ramius. No,
Yeah,
sorry, that's the other character.
Moo.
Uh let me I
He's
actually
got like
probably need to
four.
pull the
It's on the
concept
concept
board.
board. Yeah,
Let me go ahead and pull that up again so I can actually have the real names and stop saying Char clone all the time.
Moo La Flaga.
Yeah. Muloff versus Rao here is what we're going on with.
Roll the
Their,
crest.
yeah, their fight is now entered into the middle of the station. Rao has looked and seen, there's the Gundam. It's right there. It's not under my control. I'm going to put an end to this and it'll be over. And then Kira gets into the suit. So that's about where we're picking up now. We're going to have a fight between Rao and Kira, and these two will also have a nice red line. Here, I did it for you.
Yeah, but yours are shit. So also hasn't actually happened yet. So
I'm pretty sure they're not going to like each other once they start fighting. The last episode ended with like, and now he learns the reason he has to pull the trigger. It's just like, yeah, they're fighting
they're not fighting yet, though. That's the point. We can't
soon.
base these lines on what happened on the next time. We can only base them on what happened during the episode. And during the episode, these two only just saw each other.
Well, to be fair, Rao tried to kill him right now.
Hasn't yet. He's still
He
fighting.
literally
He's still fighting Mulaflaga in the air.
he can multitask. He's got the time. For
Also, as you've said yourself, they're not going to destroy a Gundam if they can get their hands on it.
So there's one more thing on my brain, which is the coordinator stuff. So right now, Kira can do super typing. This guy clearly can. These four have to be by association, right?
Well, I said Nicole can. You're saying Otheron clearly can. Haven't seen him do it. We've only seen Nicole do it.
Okay, that's fair. I would probably then just say, like, by association, this group probably is because they're all being told to get the Gundams. These two type had new type flashes. Are they both coordinators?
Well, I mean, one of them has to be. On the converse side is, they're both faking it. But, I mean, one of them has to be, and well, here's the thing. They're not talking to each other on the radio, are they?
No, they're not. They're just... Rao was just monologuing to himself, honestly.
Then in which case, you would either think Rao has it and is doing it, he feels it, right? Or he's just a fucking crazy person talking to himself.
But Mu literally did, in fact, have the flash happen.
Well, we saw it on Rao's side. Rao had the flash and said, "Oh, you feel it too, don't you?" Which, in case they're not talking on the radio, as you said, Griff, if Rao isn't, he's just fucking crazy and talking to himself.
I'm pretty sure Rao is. I'm fairly confident enough to say that. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm not sure Mu is, because I don't have any memory of that. And I want to just put a pin in that and see, will the show say he's a coordinator or natural at any point?
Once again, you're bringing up shit that you know and don't remember, and not stuff that we've learned in the show yet. You're spoiler-ridden. Here, we got a number of comments around here that people will type, no spoilers, but bunch of spoilers. And
I
what
don't
you're
think it's a
doing...
spoiler. They gave us information. We're free to speculate, and my head is empty.
Oh, here's the thing, Griffin. You're saying they gave us information. We're free to speculate. My only problem there is your speculation is, but I don't remember it, which implies not information from the last episode, information from the whole series.
So I'll go ahead and leave off on. You
point,
think this guy is going to be a coordinator then?
I have no idea. I have no fucking idea, Griff. My point is, you said they're not talking on the radio. So either one of these guys both said the same thing at the same time. If they're not talking to one another, then they're both fucking insane. Right? If one of them
what about
isn't,
the bird then?
If one of them is not, and they're both saying out loud to themselves, if one of them isn't, then they're just, I can't explain it, right? How would one of them know not to or to say anything, especially to themselves, if they didn't feel it? If Rao, I'm just putting what you're putting in my head now. If Rao wasn't, right? How would he, one, feel anything, to say anything to himself? Yeah. Same thing to Mu. If Mu wasn't, how would he, one, feel it? Two, know to say something. And three, say something just for the camera. Which would be to himself.
This is going to be our first Gundam where we're going to have, like, canon, they are speaking to the fourth wall and are aware of it.
Well,
they just know they got a camera on them at all times.
It's
That's the only explanation I can think of after all of that.
It's very much one of those one guardsman tells the truth and one always lies sort of thing, right? Like, okay, maybe one of them could feel it, right? But then how would the other one know? and they both said something. So how would the other one know to say something?
If I stab one of them and one of them says you didn't stab him, well, I guess I'll know who's who then.
The only option is that they're both it. They're both coordinators because they both felt something and said something in a vacuum at the same time. Otherwise, the only other option to think is that Rao sits around all day. Ooh, you're a coordinator, to himself all day long.
He's just constantly projecting and like, I hope this guy is. Come on, I need someone to talk to about this. It's crazy.
I gotta constantly pretend for the camera that everyone's a coordinator in the off chance I'm being watched and one of them is a coordinator.
So now that we've established Rao is just acting for the camera, I say let's go ahead and give a watch and see what happens. So, before we begin, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can go ahead and follow us over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all support the channel, just a little bit extra.
Click the link down below in the description box to join the Discord and let us know how tired of the shenanigans you are. Never gonna explain that, I guess.
The plants are just space people.
No, the Bloody Valentine tragedy. It's been in episode 1, which means that this cannot be the Bloody Valentine tragedy. They mentioned it before it happened.
Oh, obviously, it happened on Valentine's Day, and it was probably pretty bad, because it's bloody, right? So, we know everything about it now. I don't see what's the mystery. The reaction phase, I love it.
No, I'm watching what's happening on the show. My point would be that Universal Century has a similar thing. Well, something happens before the Dawn Rebellion or something. I don't think it's getting mentioned. Cool.
Everyone is surprised about this.
We all know what it is. I mean, I'm assuming that the fucking space station's gonna get destroyed, given the opening sequence.
Not very much station left, right?
Well, I don't know. That's incredibly a small amount of station left for, if the station gets destroyed. Conversely, that's an awful lot of wreckage for if the station's still around.
They did have most people evacuate already, so at least if it explodes,
didn't.
There's not that big of a death toll.
They said evacuation, but if we recall, they're just in different, safety rooms all along the station.
Yeah, we're kind of at the mercy of someone explaining how good or bad it is at some point.
Well, we know that they blew up the dock so nobody could get out, and the ship that was there got blown up, and yet suddenly there was a ship on the outside and also this super ship on the inside somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we know that people are in the safety levels. Remember when the guy, Kira, was trying to take "You're a girl" to the safety room, and she got put into one of them.
They had no more room.
Yeah, but she got in because she's a girl. Because apparently misogyny is still rich in the 2000s.
Well, suddenly
2000s.
we have a bit more room, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust anybody. But she's a girl. Oh, okay. I'm not letting her in now. That was a weird response you just gave. Conversely, it doesn't seem like the other way would have been better. Oh, we're on the colony's interior. Oh, great. I thought we were opening a hole to space.
I guess they just call, the city inside of the station a completely different name.
Well, I mean, I've got 3 different names listed in my last episode opening.
And then one of the pieces of shrapnel hits his friends anyway.
APSV.
Fire at his friends. Missile fucking do it.
I can't help but think that 7 to 10 indicates 3 missiles, but we just saw 4.
They're on one side, so.
Oh, I guess 7 to 10 is 4. You think that would just be 3. But 7, 8, 9, and 10. 4. Count it out. I feel dumb when things like this happen. You can't laugh, Griff. You said nothing in response.
I'm just loving watching it happen.
God, I'm glad I instantly know how to pilot this thing.
He programmed it.
No, he programmed the OS. It's different. The mobile suit ran on blow up the Death Star, Griff. You would not know how to fucking roll the mobile suit just because you programmed to blow up the Death Star.
See, now the whole thing is depressurizing.
That shit looks so fucking weird in this. Your friendship had not been that strong. Never mind, you finally had more things. I have to say, if both of you only flash back to the one moment in your friendship is based on one moment.
It's like hearing Obi-Wan in episode 4 go, it's like, and he was a good friend. It's like, are you sure? Oh, that's cute. You got like a carrier capture system.
I would say, oh, that's a nice touch. But you say, oh, that's cute, as though we're watching a puppy. Are we unconcerned that everybody in one of those safety rooms is now going to have nothing but a vacuum to evacuate into?
Space is dangerous, you know? It's like not having a fence around your pond.
Well, whose responsibility is that, really?
At this point, Kira, because he ruined it for everyone.
No, I meant the fence.
He also didn't set up the fence.
Oh, he did, Griff. He said he's the only defense they've got. You don't even have blood on you. They all died in weird a giant explosion. Not a drop of blood of theirs got on you.
Nice to walk onto a ship and realize that you're the highest ranking officer, right?
Just gotta figure that happened twice in a row. She walked on the ship when they landed, and she was the highest ranked officer. And then he walked on the ship, and he outranked the other girl that walked on the ship. So it wasn't the 4 people that got on board that I thought was them.
It was the original pilots. There we go.
Also, I guess that assumes that there was 5 people and not 4, like I keep counting. Okay. Step in front of me, why?
The racism started, that's why.
Yeah, but literally nobody did anything. Even the guys in the background with guns didn't lower them to point at it or anything. Did you ever see Pirates of Silicon Valley?
I don't think I did, no.
It's the computer wars, basically. Bill Gates versus Steve Jobs. It's the feeling I'm getting here. It's all based on an operating system.
We'd like to not sacrifice all of them.
Why doesn't he have a machine? Didn't he get away with one? He stole the fourth Gundam. So they're all wearing green hats and they don't have to animate faces. I've also positioned the camera to never look in their direction. Oh, there we go. Only two of them now. Hey, none of you concerned about that giant hole outside?
It's sucking out air real slow, you know?
Anybody fixing that thing? So he's a coordinator, a product of two naturals?
He's just the first generation of having powers.
That's what I'm saying. He's a coordinator, a product. I'm not asking is a coordinator.
Everyone is a natural.
Well, you can't. You're saying so you can be a natural and a coordinator? No answer. Cool.
I'm trying to like process the show's rules and try to remember. It's been a while. I think they have to make coordinators otherwise.
Well, he can't be because he's a coordinator, but he's got parents.
Yeah. That I think that's why they're being surprised by it.
Next time, just have a ketchup packet handy so you can do a blood smear on your nose when you're trying to think of these things, Griff.
I love how you
It'll
just
be
sent it
entertaining.
spinning. Sorry, I just like the detail.
Well, there's nothing else acting upon it, Griff. Second law of motion.
I mean, I would do that if I was in space. Like, I'm bored. Set my glasses, just start spinning.
Again, this place is filled with emergency holes, filled with people who are not going to have anywhere to go because the oxygen is evacuating. Nobody seems to care. How many people do you think live on this place that are all in hidey holes?
There's definitely thousands, right?
More than this one ship can hold, I'm sure. And there's someone out there's like, fucking pay attention to the show. Well, I'm paying attention to the thousands of people who are probably dying right now. Well, who took his OS and put it into the Gundams? How about that?
I do like the characters are talking about. It's kind of crazy how he did that, isn't it?
They've been working on him They've been working with him on school projects this entire time. He was literally doing that in an open park. It's not a mystery.
There you go. I mean, he makes a good case. If the entire enemy force is superpowered, what are we gonna do?
The second half of the mid-roll clip could be a horror movie soundtrack.
Oh, it's gone from 8 to 9, okay.
What's the max?
What does it mean? Who knows?
I mean, DEFCON goes from 5 to 1. So what's going from 8 to 9 mean? Is that bad?
They locked it all up, apparently. No one else in. So they can't drop off their kids.
あれをまた実戦で使われると。使わなきゃ脱出は無理でしょ。
あの坊主は了解してるのかい？
今度はフラガ大尉が乗られれば。
おい、無茶言うなよ。あんなもんが俺に扱えるわけないだろ。
He just wants its fighter death.
あの坊主が書き換えたっていう OS のデータ。
It's all about the fucking OS.
あんなもんが普通の人間に扱えるのかよ。
Why?
元に戻させて。とにかくあんな民間人の。
Do you literally control it by typing input? Do you not? The hand things mean nothing?
I do like her first instinct is we can't have a civilian child manning the death machine. Good.
I'm more focused on the impracticality of the whole fucking thing. No normal human can operate the OS. So, the inputs are all typing shit. The hand controls mean nothing then.
This is canon, actually. He literally will code stuff while he is in the middle of flying and fighting.
So yeah,
He literally made it for himself and his superpower.
then what were the 5 other pilots going to be doing?
They made it for themselves.
The thing has pedals and hand controls.
We all know those are meaningless gestures inside a Gundam.
I feel like the way these things are going to fight then, based on your description of it, is like the pilots are all like watching Pornhub while they're fighting. All the time, one of the Gundam's arms is going to be doing nothing. It's going to be one arm is going to be punching, drops down, the other arm is going to come out to punch. Your homeland has been under attack for 11 months. At this point, this is just cowardice.
They told you that already.
Did she say that she understood the ship?
The other character on the phone says that she understands the ship.
No, did she say that she did? He says, I can't be in charge, I don't understand the ship. Did she say that she understands the ship?
No, the dude did. The caller said that.
The caller said he doesn't understand the ship. I'm saying, did she ever imply that she understood the ship? I don't care what the caller said, Griff. I'm saying, did she say she understood the ship?
Not in that sentence, no.
Sentence, okay, good to know. I want to know what their sentences are all about. I'm just saying, she doesn't understand the ship either. This is all fucking pointless.
I figure the explanation is she's involved in all the secret projects, which involves the Gundams here, as well as the new ship that they are flying right now.
My read on the situation was she's just a fucking engineer that was working on the Gundams. She's a special project officer, she said.
Yeah, and all the special projects are on this.
They never indicated that this ship was a special project. It's our first time seeing it. They at least said the Gundams were special.
There is another read on it, if you want one, which is that Mu just wants to be a cool ace pilot and doesn't want to have any responsibility.
I don't care what he says. Another giant hole, by the way.
There's not much air left in there at this point.
Well, confusingly, okay, saying there, I thought I swore the gas is flowing into the place, which is to imply that the space is full of gas for some reason. Can't get sunk in space. Why? Tell me, please.
Yeah, you expect an explanation? No, they're never gonna. You gotta use beams.
Why? Cool show.
They're watching Gundam and reacting, we're watching Gundam and reacting.
Yeah, I think literally, like, if you were gonna use this in a commercial, you'd have the characters say something like that. Oh, cool show. Just so you can use it in, like, a Toonami clip when this airs. thousands dead.
Oh, there goes the school.
Also, the evacuation center was under that. Also, phase shift apparently impervious to beam weapons.
He had a shield up, I think.
What, with the two hands holding the sword? Where was the
Got a
shield again?
buckler.
What, on his elbow?
Oh, that's what you do with them.
Ah, it's Chris. Chris got into a Gundam. I see you guys in Simple Gear if you're not catching our reference.
Wow, 3 of those just completely whiffed.
That's right, we gotta keep track of the shelters. We threw a character into one.
There we go. We now have 10 is, or 11 is the ultimate. 11 is the point where they actually throw them into space.
We've got giant holes in the thing, sucking out air into the vacuum. Random bits of the station are being shot by high-powered energy weapons. Thankfully, though, apparently, the evacuation centers can only hold, what, was that 12 people?
I guess so, or...
They also
12.
said, we've got no room here. People could have sat on the floor. There was plenty of room. Okay, that was one of the Zaki ripoffs. Also, that was Miguel, wasn't it? Wasn't that Miguel? Yep, I'm sure it was Miguel
Sure
now.
was.
Just in case you thought I might not have been paying enough attention. I put Miguel on the concept board.
Oh, there goes the other one.
Yeah, he wasn't on it. Same way Rusty has no listed voice actor associated. Rusty didn't make the concept board. Why? There's no saving this place. I don't even know how you're gonna get the people out that are here still. Oh god. Is the show gonna be full of this? People saying their names at one another?
This early part is. Was that an important part?
That's all important parts. This place already has 2 to 3 giant holes in it.
That one was apparently the one keeping it all together.
Oh god, I hate to think that this place is on the inside being held together by a bunch of metal nets.
I like the guy who's holding on to his briefcase like he's gonna go back to work.
Oh, that's a celebration moment. I don't have to go back to work tomorrow. But at least we saw that the evacuation pods all get, like, shot out in space. So that you can die slowly in space.
And now, finally, the force of space is enough to just draw him into it once it's collapsing.
Well, that's, you know, it's a misnomer to think that a vacuum in space is gonna suck you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where I've seen it covered before. One of the science education channels. But
Yeah.
generally, it's like basically like the drain in your tub.
Yeah.
But unless you're close to it, you're not going to feel any suction. It'll be a slight pull from a distance that you can.
Right. There's
resist.
also flow rate too.
Yeah, but I mean, unless you're like, pressurized to be pushed towards the thing, the pressure of itself isn't going to pull you out. Not like any sci-fi horror movie where you see somebody like get sucked out like the guts through their stomach because they touched the hole.
Yeah, in a small one-roomed thing, like, yeah, if you get like a nice big hole in the side, everything's leaving pretty quickly because there's not a whole lot of it. That thing's a city.
Hold on.
戻らぬものの大きさを虚空に散る大地に知った時、少年たちは何に向かおうとするのか。伴わない感覚の中、迫る現実は彼らを追い立て、開くゲートの先に広がる戦いの闇は果てしなく暗く深い。次回、機動戦士ガンダムシードサイレントラン。その闇を切り裂いて開け、ガン
What
ダム。
could you possibly do after this episode that's silent? I guess my other salient point about this is that I appreciate that the evacuation rooms are also escape pods, but unless they're powered, and by powered I mean like have engines in them that can decide where they're going, a lot of those people are gonna die because they're just gonna float off into space, and unless you have somebody to catch up with them eventually, you're either gonna lose them or they're just gonna die in space once their resources run out.
Right, rescuing people in space is tough. This is a sci-fi show. It's also Gundam, where they have like unlimited amounts of Delta V as well. So at least within their universe, it should be perfectly fine. Like in most series, I think, except maybe IPO, which is the only one where they ever cared.
Well, I mean, the one that comes to my mind, not Gundam, was a book series. The main one here is Troy Rising, I want to say, where a huge space battle, have tons of people who evacuate their ship, and the threat is, well, they have communications. The thing is that they have tight beam communications, so these people are just slowly dying in their pods as they float off into deep space.
Oh yeah.
Able still to receive communications with people. It's just the fact that nobody can reach them before they drift off so far, and that you're getting communications from people that are going to die.
At least in this specific situation, they're already in an orbit. They are on a station. That station is still ostensibly still orbiting Earth, I believe. That's my assumption. They're not like in deep space, they haven't said, right?
Well, if they're following Gundam tradition, that they're in some sort of Lagrange point. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to hold when you have velocity. The Lagrange points are
That's still
typically
perfectly fine.
places where you can put stuff. These things
Well-
are being ejected at speed.
Yeah, they have a slightly modified orbit similar to the previous orbit that they were just in. They would need to express a lot of delta V to drastically change that. So it's
Well-
unlikely that they're going to escape from that orbit. It's unlikely that they're going to completely destroy their orbit and end up going straight to Earth. Even the person who fired directly towards the Earth probably didn't put in enough delta V to really change that.
We have no idea about the velocity that they're moving in. Plus, I don't think
You can
either
make a
of us
guess.
have a in-depth understanding about the gravitational anomalies of Lagrange points to be able to fully commit to
I've played enough Kerbal Space Program.
as have I. How many planets have you reached?
But what I want to say is that
Griff, I want you to answer. How many planets have you reached in Kerbal Space
4.
Program? Okay.
Yeah.
None. I've successfully
Do moons
orbited.
count? I could add in another 6.
I've successfully orbited the sun for eternity, never to be retrieved.
See, that's the difference. You don't have the cowboy feeling to fly a rocket by the seat of your pants and get to another planet, you know?
No, I do. I have the inability to reach said planets. What I do have is the ability to escape my own planet's gravitational pull and be stuck in a really wide orbit around the sun forever.
Yeah. Still, in this situation, my perspective is, given what I could make assumptions about here, is that they will probably be in that same orbit. They are within rescuable ability, especially given the technologies at play. The bigger question is anyone going to go do it?
Well, I think the bigger question is debris. That these things
Oh
have
yeah,
been
no, if
shot
the
off.
thing crashes your pod, you're dead.
Well, I mean, again, we don't know what velocity that they're moving in. Plus, we have all this shit flying off of the station at unknown velocities, and we already know like shit flying around the Earth.
Yeah.
A fucking ball bearing could take out the space station. Let alone all the wreckage it's going to create, then spinning around, creating more and more wreckage at high speed.
But if you have phase shift armor, you're immune to projectiles. And so you
Unexplained.
get to rescue people from the debris field.
Unexplained. Unexplained.
Absolutely unexplained.
Unexplained
yes.
and uncounted, right? Because
Mhm.
we know it can stand up to Vulcan cannons, which is a certain magnitude of speed, but can it literally a ball bearing going around the Earth at high orbit speeds? It's literally the equivalent of the Flash's Megaton Punch at some point. It's just gonna keep going. It's falling to Earth at incredible velocity, but never quite getting there, as it were.
Mhm.
We have no idea if it can hold up to that. Although it can hold up
Yeah.
to beam weapons, where you said they'd be vulnerable to beam weapons.
We're getting a lot of questions of what hurts Gundams here. Well, at least you can slash apart a Zaku with a beam saber. We know that much.
Well, the only real measure is going to be when an enemy Gundam shows up, because the main character Gundam is never going to get hurt by shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, that's because we're watching a show, and it's 100 episodes.
Doesn't mean anything,
He's-
Griff. Doesn't
he's
mean
gotta
anything, Griff. We
stay.
watch 86 on here. You're saying, oh, we
And that's
can't
a
hurt.
different type of show.
We can't
You
hurt
just
main
gotta-
characters. It's a narrative. We have to have plot. You can't kill the main character.
You
Fuck
just
all
gotta
that.
suspend your disbelief a little bit, Theta.
When has that happened?
Never, not even once.
Yeah. If I can't be consistent, then what can I be?
Alright, so I think on that we're going to be consistent in end the show about here. This has been Stone Face Reactions, everybody. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone Face Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?